So we're keeping up the pace, and we're gonna do another little bit of good old Final Fantasy 4 to, you know, Cecil Crew, whatever you want to call it. We've still got a little bit left of this dungeon to do, and by a little bit I mean 3 or 4 screens more of this. We'll find some pretty decent stuff. Ice Rod can actually pay off a little bit. It does about the same damage as this rod does, and you kind of see it once I actually equip it on her. But the thing is, it's got, you know, the obvious ice element, and, you know, creatures that are weak against ice take a little bit more extra damage. I'm just gonna beat on it because it's just gonna renew if I use spells. Oh, I should have had. No, I don't think it's used much since we just left the safe spot. Alright, so let's see, go down here. Another random combat. We get attack from behind, which is the greatest. Because it now puts your back row in front. And your back row is usually your spellcasters, so prepare for them to get beat in the face a few times before you can really do anything about it. You know, let's go ahead and summon Chocobo, because I don't think we've done that yet. Aha. It does, you know, a little bit of damage to one target. I'm not sure if it's in this version, but supposedly there's also a Chocobo summon where the big Chocobo, you know, kind of crushes everything on the screen. But haven't seen it yet, so whether or not this is hearsay or rumor or whatnot, we shall see as time goes on. Also, I really do need to. You know what? I think I can equip it this way, though. Haha, sure can. And now you'll see the Ace Rod in action, which isn't really all that thrilling, but it does about the same thing. And it still counts as a spell, so he's going to renew himself repeatedly. And so now I'm just going to punch this guy in the face a few times. Hooray! Now, if it gets to the point where the random combat is too much of a pain, or anybody really starts speaking out against, you know, watching said random combats, and, you know, me babbling through them, I can go and edit them out, because it's not really difficult, but I kind of just don't want to get in that groove where I have to kind of stop speaking entirely because of random combat, and then just, you know, kind of swing back and, you know, jump cut back into whatever I was saying before. I don't know. We'll see. We'll work with format. Again, always welcome to voice your opinions. But again, it's kind of just something I'm doing because I kind of really feel like playing good old Final Fantasy 4 or 2 or whatever you want to call it. And I'm kind of just doing this for the why I'm not using the Ice Rod I just equipped, I don't know. My brain is bad. There's a potion here. Now you might think, oh, we can go right up those stairs and just move on, but there's actually a hidden passageway right through here. And generally when you're back here you run into this group, which is kind of a pain in the ass. The tiny mages, if you hit them with any spell or spell type item, they will cast Osmos on you right afterwards. Meaning they will just start draining your magic. The Problem is, you also can't Osmos from them because they'll do it right back, and you don't get any. You get 1 MP out of them, so it's not even worth it. So until you kill the tiny mages off, it's probably best just to kind of beat on them. Usually it doesn't take too much to kill them. Oh, hey. That's not good at all. Oh, how convenient that you hit the 1 weak person with your spell. Really? So, of course, when I was, playtesting this, these guys were pretty much cake, and they died pretty easily. Of course, now they're being a pain in the ass, and the tiny mages actually managed to cast spells, which they don't seem to normally do. You know what, let me just use my Phoenix down and bring up another option to almost get killed immediately. No. Okay. Really? Alright, assholes. So, probably not the... yeah, I forgot that those... Oh, dear lord. See? Tiny mages, very much a pain in the ass. Do I have... I guess soon to fix the paralyzed, right? Or is that only poison? Okay, awesome and good. They don't have a lot of hit points, so they're pretty easy to kill off. If you have a magical, or have a physical beat face, actually not paralyzed to do it. And of course we do this all for a feathered hat. Oh boy. We're gonna put the feathered cap on her head because she has the least hit points, and always better to upgrade the weakest person first. What else? Oh, it's just remove. Alright. Now we can go back and finish this floor up. After we run into... oh, thankfully not that same group of asshats again. Running low on magic though, so you know what? It doesn't matter. We're gonna tent the first chance that we get. So, and yes, there is an actual a pause, another break before we actually finish up this dungeon, because it's actually, again, a decently long dungeon for this early in the game. And more zombies. Again, zombies, you pretty much only want to beat on with spells, because magic actually does some damage to them, whereas physical attacks do not. And since Ridley doesn't have fire, we will just use the ice rod, because it does a decent amount of damage. Also, I know I put that little, the option to keep the cursor in a set position, or fixed, whatever. I thought that meant like, command memory as far as the attack menus and stuff goes, but apparently not. I will have yet to figure out what that actually does. And more zombies, thank you. I moved 3 steps, so of course we need to fight something else that will drain our resources. So, let's see. So I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do with the future of, doing videos and whatnot. And I don't know. I'm kind of just weighing my options now. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of this nowadays because it's something to focus on while I'm dealing with health issues. So it's one of those things that I try to keep my mind off of whatever's going on and instead focus it on being fairly incompetent at video games and making fun of myself and the silly games themselves. Which, no, I don't have anything great to say at the moment because it's an MMO, or it's not an MMO. It's a JRPG, or it's a, a kind of standard game. There's not a ton of stuff that goes on that's really, I guess, worth commenting on half the time. I mean, I can be informative, and that's about all I can really do until, something ridiculous happens. And to be honest, I don't think anything ridiculous happens. I mean, story-wise, Final Fantasy IV is actually kind of grounded a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's, airships and crystals that control the, energy of the world or whatever, but for a Final Fantasy game, it's pretty tame. Especially some of the earlier ones. I mean, in Final Fantasy I, which I did earlier, it kind of has the same theme, except, obviously none of the characters have any story about them, so... the crystals are always a big part of the story. Well, a decent part of the story, as far as most Final Fantasy goes. Up until, like, 6. Hey, we get a sword upgrade, which we toss on, because there's no reason not to. Yeah, I'm gonna use a tent outside. Why would I not? Why would I not do that thing that you just said? Well, of course I didn't have a tent. If I didn't have a tent, then it'd be hard to do, but... And now we can finish up the... see, I always thought, like, at this part, he's down here. And I keep remembering, oh, he's, usually right at the base of the waterfall. You fall into it. No, you actually fall into, like, another portion of dungeon, and you have some wandering around to do before you actually get to fight him. So Red Moose, very physical resistant. Their weakness, however, is fire, which it's kind of one of those things. Sometimes I think, Red Moose, it's fire aligned, so ice would work, but in this game, it's more of a direct correlation. Red equals fire. So we use fire. Because nothing else really does anything. I believe ice will still do some damage. Magic as a whole will still do more damage than physical attacks. But they're obviously very weak to fire. And so we'll use a lot of that. You know what, I'm just gonna defend. Screw it. No, not anymore though. Defend. I'll just have Tella clean this up. It's some easy experience. Cost of 5 mana, magic points. Okay. Let's see, nothing over here. There is some more gear, which I will actually equip this time, because it might be worth doing for this that's coming up. Hades helm, armor. Glove said to have been once owned by a demon. So did he just like get bored and take his armor off? How do you know exactly that this was owned by a demon? Does it like have like property of Satan written on the like collar? What? I don't know. It's a mystery. Something that we will... Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't want to use that on the Tiny Mage, because again, Tiny Mage will start casting stuff at us if we do so. We don't want him getting our mana. I think that's kind of the catch. No, I guess not. I'm putting my foot in my mouth. I thought that he actually could cast spells, but he had to osmose your MP before he could do it. But that's not the case. These guys are a little weaker to Thunder than they are any other, but it's not terribly noticeable damage-wise. You know what? I'll darken. We'll darken. That should finish this off, and maybe we can actually get to the boss. Hey, there he is. You know, watch out for those things that surround you and make it unable to escape at this point. Oh, hey. I probably should use some of those potions. The strategy here is not really much strategy at all. Oh, hey. I don't want her dying, however. You generally just want to pepper this guy with lightning. Now, what I have noticed, though, is that if you click the all attack with your spell... No, not that time around. It seems to have done more damage, but maybe I'm just doing poorly at this point. I remember... okay. I don't know. The weakness is Thunder, so Thunder is a good thing. But I'm kind of a little confused by the disparity between the two different spellcasters' Thunders. I tend to remember them being a little... In fact, I just tested it a little while ago, and it was not quite as... you know, up and down, but whatever, Cecil can dish out more damage than both of them combined, and makes this fight even easier. So, not a huge concern either way. I could actually... No, I don't think I can actually hold them, so let's just use them. Okay, he's hold. I don't think hold works. I'm gonna go ahead and say it probably doesn't. Once he gets to this point, yeah, once he gets to this point though, his attacks are much slower. And he's pretty much beat at this point. I mean, it's hard to kind of mess it up once you've got him down this far. And in fact, the boss as a whole is probably one of the easiest bosses you'll run into, you know, barring the initial tutorial boss of Miss Dragon. Well, we've made it outside. Hey, look, there's a cat. Oh. Well. That's not good. I think we'll cut it off here, because I think we're gonna get into some heavy shit. So let's save it. And we'll continue on exploring the Damcyan. Yeah, we'll explore the castle next time around and see exactly what just happened. Till then, have a good one, folks.